So we really wanted to talk to you about the way that, first of all, the way that we almost compare, which is, it's a little bit of a difficult comparison, comparing tapas in Spain, because it's not really about the food, it's about the culture. It's about the way of life. It's interesting because it started out for me thinking of a tapa as a canapé. Because for me, a tapa was really just a little food. And so all I wanted to do was create delicious little food in bite-sized portions. Tapas in different cities in America changes. For example, one of our favorite places to eat is Bar Jamón in New York City. Now, Bar Jamón, wouldn't you say, is like a really classic tapas place? That's really like it is in Spain.
The word tapas is a very wide range. I mean, for those of you that have been to Spain, I know a lot of you are from Spain. You go to San Sebastián, it's done one way. You go to Barcelona, it's done another way. You go to Madrid, it's done another way. You go to San Sebastián in a certain part of town, and it's done another way. So it changes from town to town, really. And tapas from the north are completely different than from the south. Even though throughout the country, everybody has their own version of what tapas is. So to say that it's a traditional, I do think, for instance, Bar Jamón was one of the first tapas restaurants I think that we went to in this country, and probably one of the first that was available in this country. I think that it's been open now for 12, 13 years or something.
It's just a whole different culture, isn't it? I mean, it's fabulous. Everybody's kind of standing around the table, chatting it up, and pointing at what they're interested in. And here, we all sit to eat. There they're standing. They're holding their copa de Jerez. They're holding their glass of wine. They maybe have their pinkstos sitting on top. Have any of you ever realized you don't usually meet the chefs of the Spanish restaurants when you go to eat tapas? And if you do, you don't really know that you're talking to the chef, because it's a man in a nice shirt with a tie, and he's standing behind these counters, and he might be talking to you, but you have no idea that it's the chef. We're so egocentric in this country, present company probably included, that I want people to know that I'm the chef of the restaurant. So I'm going to be the one slicing your pata negra, and I'm going to be back there creating some of the dishes, and I want you to know who I am. Just more than anything, because I'm proud of the dishes that we were doing. And that's where I wanted to get into something that I was thinking about. When you're in Spain, obviously, it's all about the Spanish regional cuisine. And some people in Barcelona might borrow from some of the cuisine from Valencia, or maybe San Sebastián might bring something in because they're so close to France. Maybe, definitely the ingredients, obviously, but maybe some of the flavors. So we, here in the States, you know how we love to play with Japanese food, with Peruvian food, with the Spanish food, with the Mexican food. And so what we're seeing here with tapas, and what I love to do with tapas, is just use everything I can possibly grasp with the best ingredients I could possibly use and make them in the tastiest way. For example, if I feel like one night making a broth out of some Japanese seaweed and bonito flake and poaching a beautiful, let's say, local fluke in that and serving it with some tempura asparagus, and that being what I considered a perfect tapa, you would never see that, or almost never see that in Spain, unless you went to really one of the more creative style restaurants with, the chefs that really were sort of putting themselves out there. There's Italian tapas nowadays. You can go to Italian restaurants. In fact, I think across the street from Michi's, they're going to be opening an Italian tapas restaurant, aren't they? The guys from South Beach, yeah. So, you can go to an Italian restaurant and have tiny meatballs, and they call it tapas. You can go to any restaurant in Miami and get a ceviche, and that is what we consider to be a tapa. Tiraditos are also considered to be tapas. This is, for example, something I would serve a señora a lot. This is a tuna tartare. One was done more like a tiradito. This one is done like a true tartare, ceviche, with avocados and chips. Why can't that be the perfect tapa? That is what I consider to be the perfect tapa. Tartare of salmon with caviar. Here's my shrimp tiradito. I'm borrowing from all the different regions that I've visited and all the flavors that I'm in love with and turning them into my own tapas. I'm not saying that I'm more creative than the gentleman in Spain. I'm saying it's almost like they, and Spaniards eat Spanish ingredients because they're so proud of it, and they should be. And here, maybe that we don't have the luxury, but because we're from everywhere in the world, you know, we are a beautiful country of immigrants, and so I love to play with all the places I've visited, or I might have in my background, or he has in his background, or somebody in my kitchen might pull something out of their family recipes. So it's just a beautiful thing, and I think what we do here is that we love to celebrate the different cultures in our tapas. And we have a lot of fun doing it.